Hola, hola, chicos. Hope you guys are all doing well. We'll just hang tough here for a minute, let a couple people hop on. I wasn't sure if I was going to go live today. Well, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it live today. Let's just say that. It was taking forever for my video to process. I was trying to process it in 4K after we got home, and it was like over 2 hours, and it wasn't even half finished. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on with this? So it's not going to play in 4K anyway on a live stream, so I just canceled that, and then I started the process all over again and just high def 1080p. So hopefully it's good. We'll just hang tough a second, my friends. Hope you can hear me okay. The volume's good. I do believe it is. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Looks like we have everything in order. Hope you guys all had a good New Year with your family and friends. See if my chat is working here. Good day, good evening, friends. Welcome, welcome. So we just got home from our trip to Veracruz. We got home at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. We had an excellent time there. The Malecon there is huge. It's a lot different than the Malecon in Progresso, I'll tell you that. Got a hair in my tongue here. I got home and I had a chill though, and I couldn't shake the chill. I had to have a shower, a hot shower to warm up. I got that little heater on the baseboard heater on beside me. I just was cold. It was quite warm in Veracruz. So I put together a little video here, guys. We'll just start this off right now. So happy 2024. Happy New Year, everybody. So this is a walking video of mine and Jennifer's trip downtown. We did a little shopping here in Coatepec. We'll just get through this little intro here. Maybe I'll just fast forward this a little bit. There we go, guys. So we're just leaving our house, going downtown, taking Cece for a little walk. So I'm just reading a message here. We have a friend that's driving up from Canada. I talked about her before. She'll be here on Thursday. So we're excited to have her come. And we will do a live stream with her. Her name is Kay. And she drives up from Canada every year. She owns a home in Chicxulub. So we're looking forward to seeing her and her dog. She's got a little Labradoodle. And she'll be driving up from Ontario. So we're going to do a live with her about a solo female traveling in Mexico. So we're excited to have her join us. I'm not really sure how long she's going to be staying with us. 1 or 2 days, I do believe. I'm hoping for at least a couple of days so Jennifer can spend some time with her, because I believe she said she's going to arrive on Thursday. So Jennifer's got to work Thursday and Friday, so I'm hoping she'll stay till Saturday, Sunday at least. So have a couple days off with Jennifer. before she takes off to the Yucatan. I do believe that is going to be her plan, to stay for a couple of days, so that'll be nice. That'll be nice. Welcome, welcome, guys. Thanks for hopping on. So we are back home from our little holiday that we had in Veracruz, our little 2-day weekend. The first day we really didn't do too much. We just walked the Malecon basically, but we went downtown a tiny little bit for about, I don't know, a couple of, maybe an hour and a half. But we walked the Malecon pretty much from one end to the other. Like, we got there at 8 o'clock in the morning. I guess it was 8:30, around 8:30. So it was pretty quiet. There wasn't a lot going on. But it was nice. We had the whole Malecon to ourselves pretty well, other than people exercising and jogging and, running and whatnot, and, biking and rollerblading. And so we walked probably, well, right from 8:30 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4:30. Other than stopping for coffee, stopping for breakfast, and then for lunch. And that was it. A couple of times, a little break on the Malecon, but we walked the whole time. So our feet were a little bit tired the next day. Jennifer's a little bit more than mine. I'm a little more used to walking around. Jennifer with her desk job, sitting all the time. And it's been a while since we've gone on a good hike like that. That was all day on our feet. All day. So there's a guy just to the right here selling chicken. He's got raw chicken out on a table. He's got it covered up with a cloth. We're going to stop there on our way back. Yeah, he's only set up there in the mornings, and I believe he lives pretty close because I've seen him carry his table from, I guess, that way. Or would it be that way? One of those ways. One of those directions. You guys are all backwards to me, so... So yeah, we're just going to go to the market, and I can't remember if we walked downtown in this video. I can't remember. It's been a while since I edited this one. Can't remember what we do. I know we walked to the market anyway, and then we walk back. And we stop at that restaurant there. It's quite a peaceful little town, it really is. Well, let me know where you guys are watching from. That would be great. And how your New Year's was. Did you guys do anything exciting for New Year's? We really didn't do that much. Like I said, we went out in the daytime. We were back home by 4:30, and after walking all day, we were pretty tired. I worked on videos until 1 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Eve. That was my big excitement for the evening. I sat at the computer and worked on videos for about 4 hours, maybe closer to 5 hours. Good solid 4 hours, that's for sure. I rang in the new year. I was actually awake. Normally I'm sleeping. It's been a long time since I stayed up past midnight, I'll tell you. A really long time. Whenever we walk with Cece, it takes twice as long. We have to stop so he can smell everything. And Jennifer lets Cece walk her instead of her walking Cece. Cece walks Jennifer. He really runs the house, that dog, I'll tell you. He really, really does. Now this is quite the hill here, actually. It's hard to tell in the video, but we're going up pretty good. There's a pretty good grade here. Yeah, I was hoping to go live earlier this afternoon, but I couldn't get this video to process. It was just taking forever. I don't know why it was taking so long. I was really hoping to go live before 6 o'clock at about 5 p.m. was my plan. We didn't get home till 4, so I figured, you know, an hour to get ready would have been lots. But things were not working out for me. Not at all. Hola, hola, my friends. Welcome, welcome. We're just watching this little video of us walking to the market. Happy New Year's to everybody again. I'm always waiting for Cece and Jen when we walk. Yeah, it's been so long since I've watched this video, I can't even remember exactly what we do here. I know we go to the market and then we go back. We buy some chicken. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys all enjoyed your New Year's. Rang it in with a bang. I could hear fireworks going off for an hour straight last night where we were. And we were way out of town. Like we were on the edge of town, out in the country. And I could still hear the fireworks. They started at about 11:30 and they went till probably 1, right till I went to bed. You could hear it in the distance. Boom, boom. I went outside and looked. I couldn't see anywhere, but I could hear it. Just a faint booming constantly for about an hour, maybe even an hour and a half. I'm sure it started at 11:30 and it went right till about 1. I think I'm wearing the same hoodie I'm wearing right now in this video. I did have on my my Mexican t-shirt for you guys, but excuse me. I was getting cold. Now I'm getting warm and I got to turn this heater off. I got a little baseboard heater here warming me up. It was nice in Veracruz. I wasn't cold once there, even in the evening. It was nice when we got back here, but the house was all closed up. The windows were closed, the blinds were closed, so it was cool in here when we got home. It was probably 21 or 22 Celsius though when we got home this afternoon. Yeah, so this video here is still it's from before Christmas. I just realized right here up ahead. Well, I figured it was, but it's a Medi Center right there, and there's people standing outside there all the time in front of the Medi Center. I told Jen we're gonna have to start walking across to the other side of the street so we don't get sick. Oh yeah, here I do. Yeah, for sure. We had a little incident today, though, that was a little bit sketchy when we were in Veracruz downtown. I'll tell you about it briefly, Kevin. It was kind of sketchy. So we were downtown in Veracruz before we left. We thought, oh, let's go to El Centro and walk around. And, everything's closed, right? So it's New Year's Day, that was today. And we're walking around. There's a lot of garbage everywhere. It was kind of dirty. From the party last night, right? All the businesses are closed, and we're walking down this street, and it's old, like it's just run down. It's like the center of Veracruz, the city where we were. I don't know if we were just in a bad part or what, but yeah, it was just run down. It was old, and it was dirty. There was garbage all over the streets. But the garbage, I can say, is probably because of the party, right? Last night. Excuse me. So anyway, we're going down the street, and these guys are out there talking, younger guys, and they're drunk. You could tell they're drunk from the night before, from last night. And then the one guy, he comes up and he starts talking to us, and he's like, starts talking to us in English. He's like, oh, my friends want to see if their English is any good. Come talk to us. And I'm like, no, man, we got to go. We're driving back to Jalapa. No, come talk with us. It was just really sketchy. It was just sketchy. He wanted us to come. I don't know if he was inviting us to the back onto their property or just stand outside. Like they were standing out on the sidewalk, right? So I'm not really sure what he wanted. I'm not sure if he was a good guy or a bad guy, but I wasn't going to take the chance to find out. So when we walked down the street a little ways, and there's a armed security guard standing outside the grocery store. So I'm like, okay, well, this isn't a very good neighborhood when you got an armed security guy standing outside the grocery store, all in, riot gear with a semi-automatic machine gun. So whatever, nothing happened. We walked away, But that was one of the only. I said to Jennifer, all the years we've been coming to Mexico and walking around, it was one of the only times I ever felt that it was kind of a little bit sketchy. And like I said, I don't know if he was a good guy or a bad guy, if he was just, if he really just wanted to shoot the breeze with us, or, and he was drunk too, right? And he wasn't aggressive or anything, but he was drunk. And I don't want to deal with drunk people unless I'm drunk right along with them. So, but yeah, it was no big deal. But when we got to the corner of the intersection, I seen the security guard there, and you could tell that he was watching. So I think he seen the interaction that we were having with that guy, because we were about not quite half a block away from him, but he could see us, I'm sure. I'm sure he was watching us. So, but yeah, nothing came of it anyway. And I'm not sure, like I said, if he was a good guy or a bad guy, if he just wanted to shoot the breeze, if he was being legit. That, like, we walked away, no problem though. But that was the only time of all the years that we've lived here and all the years that we've been traveling here where I ever felt that this is a little bit sketchy. And a lot of it had to do with there was nobody around. There was no people, right? Like everything, all the businesses were closed. So if it would have been a normal day like this here, you're seeing on the screen where everything's open, people are walking around, no problem. Right? Nobody's going to bother you in that type of situation. But when you're alone on this street, we don't go walking around at 3 in the morning either, right? Down the streets in Mexico, right? Like I wouldn't even do that at home in Edmonton, Alberta. So I'm sure the heck not going to do it here in Mexico, right? So you got to have common sense, right? But anyway, yeah, it was no big deal. We feel totally safe here in Mexico. We've never had any incidents whatsoever. Knock on wood. Knock on wood, none whatsoever. That was the only time I ever felt that things just seemed a little bit kind of sketchy. But, like, as I said, nothing came of it. We walked away, no problem. It was no big deal, so whatever. But, yeah. Not every city is like Merida, I'll tell you that. Mexico's a very diverse place, and each state is different, Not every state is like the Yucatan. And not every city is like Merida. So you just have to have common sense, right? Like I said, we had no problem. I joked with the guy. I was like, oh, told him Happy New Year, Feliz Años, and, God bless. We got to go. We're driving back to Jalapa. Take care. See you later, man. Peace out. Type thing. Hey, he wasn't too persistent. But I'm sure he also knew that there was a security guard just down the street because he lives there, right? So I'm guaranteed he knows that there's a cop just down the street guarding the store, standing outside on the corner. So I'm sure he knew he was there as well. Yeah, take care, buddy. Peace out. God bless. Thanks for hopping on. Happy New Year again. We like this little market here. We like going to this market. But yeah, we've never had no incidents here, and we've never felt in danger in any way, shape, or form. Again, knock on wood. Yeah. Yeah, we've never been bothered by the police. We've never been bothered by people. I say that guy he wasn't aggressive. He didn't bother us, It just seemed kind of sketchy, right? Nothing had happened. Like I said, he wasn't aggressive. It was no big deal. It was just one of those situations where if you have a half a brain, no, I'm not going to go back, behind your walled property and hang out with you guys. You guys are drunk, for one thing. I don't want to hang around with drunk people. Unless I'm one of them. It's been a long time since I've been drunk. But yeah, you got to have your wits about you, right? Common sense. We didn't hang around that area, though, I'll tell you. We got out of there. We left. There was nothing down there to see anyway. It was, like I said, it was kind of run down. It was a little bit disappointing. It was run down, a lot of older buildings. It was a nice area when we first got into the downtown core that we got to the day before. And we were, so we started off right there where we left off. It was in a nice park. There was a nice little ice cream shop there, and it was nice. We took some nice videos around there. There was a nice fire station. They had a nice monument out there. It was really nice. The whole area was beautiful. It was nice. It was nice and clean. But that was New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve, I should say. New Year's Eve at about, 3 in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon. That was probably about 2 we were over there by yesterday. Yeah, I'm going to say around 3 o'clock. We had a great time in Veracruz, though. I'm definitely going to be going back there. But I have no desire to go back downtown to the El Centro, where we were today. There's just nothing down there. I imagine when everything is open, it's hustling and bustling. Like there's a lot of street vendors and street shops set up, on the sidewalk. There was a lot of that in the alleys that were all boarded up, a lot of street vendors. And when everything is open, but I mean, it's still not, it's just, everything's just run down. It's just really old and run down. In that area that we've seen today anyway. So I have no desire to go back over there. There's another area not too far away that looks like it's a little bit nicer. We're going to go check that out next time. And then we're going to have our bikes with us next time too. We already decided we're going to bring our bikes. I wish we would have brought them this time, but we didn't. So next time we'll have our bikes. Because that Malecon is huge. The Malecon is, I think, like 10, 14 kilometers long. I think somebody had told me, my friend had told me. It's quite long. So you can go for a long ways on the Malecon. And I thought that it was like Puerto Vallarta, no beaches, but there is beaches right along the Malecon. I thought you had to go out of the city to get to the beaches, but there's beaches right there. So I didn't realize that. The videos that I seen never shown any beaches at all. So I didn't watch 1,000 videos or anything, but I watched a few videos on Veracruz, and I never seen any beaches at all until we were there yesterday. And there's probably, I think, 3 or 4 different spots, 3 for sure, maybe even more than that. But there's beaches there anyway, right on the Malecon, more than a couple different areas where you can go swimming. And then there is areas too where it's just, rock and a stone wall, And then the whole Malecon right up to the hotel zone is just lined with, restaurants and souvenir shops and stuff like that, right? So, yeah. Hey Keith, how you doing, buddy? Happy New Year, my friend. We're just watching this video of us shopping in the market. You'll have to go back and hear my little story, the little incident we had today. It'll be coming up in another video anyway. I might drop it in there. I might edit that out. I don't know. I say it was nothing major. Yeah, it's too bad. Well, maybe he'll hop back on. Thanks for joining me there, buddy. I was saying earlier, I was hoping to go live earlier, but it just didn't pan out. This market here is about literally a 10-minute walk, maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes. But it's all uphill. It's just all uphill. Yeah. Oh, hey, Gayleen. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Yeah, it's just the first 10 minutes of the video, 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, I've been overdressing every time we go out. I'm cold, and then we go out, and I'm like, Why do I got this hoodie on? It's too freaking hot. I'm sure you would be. That's funny. I don't recall Kevin Smith ever coming on and commenting before, but my memory is not that great, so just because I don't remember doesn't mean it never happened. I tell people I'm lucky I can remember my name some days. Yeah, so that's all this is we just walk to that market and then we walk back and we go grab some lunch and then we get some raw chicken from the street corner. And then I had more to this video, but I will save it for another day. Driving video, so, and then a biking video. So I'll save it for another live stream. I'm not even sure what movie you're talking about. I gotta look it up. Oh, from 1994. I don't know if I've seen that. I'm sure I probably did. Maybe not, though. That one guy looks like Julian from Trailer Park Boys. Yeah, he totally looks like Julian from Trailer Park Boys. Yeah, I just found it on here on Google from 1994. Oh, there's even a Clerks 2 and a Clerks 3. I'll have to ask Jennifer if, well, for sure Jennifer would have seen it. I watched a lot of TV and a lot of movies, man. I grew up watching TV and movies. Like, I watched a lot of TV and a lot of movies growing up. For this one here, I don't remember it, if I've seen it or not. Doesn't look familiar, so I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to look and see if I can find it on my Android box. Yeah, he's classic is right, yeah. I used to love that show. I had all of them on Blu-ray. I had every series of it on Blu-ray. Trailer Park Boys. So funny, so funny. They're still doing stand-up, those guys. The three of them. Julian, Bubbles, and Ricky. They do stand-up. Yeah, Jennifer lost her load here. It fell out of her bag. The zipper wasn't done up at the top. We left it. It was open a tiny little bit there. I turned around and there she's bent over. That was like yesterday. She did the same thing. We were walking from the store and we got some pop and just some junk food for over at the rental property there. And I crossed the street and the cab driver's like, "Hey," says my wife behind me. I look and the bag had ripped open. Dropped all of her stuff on the sidewalk there. Yeah. Well, I think Bubbles was everybody's favorite in that show. Everybody liked Bubbles, but I liked Ricky too. Ricky was definitely up there as one of my favorites. Absolutely. He was just so stupid. Yeah, I think we all know a guy back in the early 90s that was like Ricky. I know I did. And I knew a guy that was like Julian too back then. Almost, anyway. Julian's a classic character with always have the rum and always holding his rum and coke all the time wherever he goes. Always got his rum and coke. Hey George, how you doing, buddy? Welcome, welcome. We're just watching this little market tour here. Oh yeah, we stopped at the meat market here too. I forgot about that. I didn't go in because I had the dog. I just kind of peeked my head in there. So that's where we get our meat from. We're not vegetarians. But the meat's really good here. If you were a vegetarian, you could live a lot cheaper here in Mexico. That's for sure, because like everywhere else in the world, meat is not freaking cheap. And even in Mexico, it's not cheap. It might be cheaper than Canada a little bit, but it's still not cheap. That's your most expensive item on the shopping list is your meat. The vegetables and fruit are cheap. It's toilet paper and stuff like that. That's pretty much par for Canada. You know, it's just the vegetables and the fruit is cheap because it's grown here. You know, it doesn't have to be imported. You know, but all that other stuff, you know, all the middle aisles, which we don't shop at anyway, you know, is expensive. You know, we don't hit up the middle aisles too much other than, you know, we need toilet paper, we need baggies, you know, Ziploc baggies, stuff like that. You know, it's all that stuff. And then the meat. Oh, yeah. He held his drink at everything he did. He always had his drink in his hand. Yeah, I used to have every one of those Blu-ray episodes. Oh yeah, it was nothing back in the day to hop in your vehicle with a drink in your hand or you know, a six-pack of beer on the seat, you know, back in the 70s and the 60s. It was common. It was common to do that. Yeah, everybody's dad did it back in the 60s and the 70s and even into the early 80s. And before that, for sure, in the 50s. You know, yeah, it was nothing to get behind the wheel with a six-pack of beer between your seat there. Back when all the vehicles had ashtrays in them. Yeah, it was pretty common. I learned my lesson drinking and driving when I was young. I got into a bad snowmobile accident. Hit a reef on the lake, cracked the motor right in half. Drunk, Christmas Eve. Woke up in the hospital Christmas morning. Yeah, that's when I learned never to drink and drive anything. Just young, right, in my 20s. Young and stupid, you know. So yeah, if you're still on, George Kay's on her way down here right now. She's in Mexico now. She's just going to stop at another friend's house and visit her for a day. She's literally 11 hours away from us right now. So she's going to stop and visit her friend there, and then she'll be here by Thursday. And then we're going to do a live stream with her. Oh, I don't know. I was monkeying around with I was taking a photograph of something here. I can't remember what it was. Playing around. Oh, I was waiting for Jen. That's why. Oh, I think I was just looking at the mountains. Because it was clear out that day. You could actually see the mountains. Yeah, when it's a nice sunny day here, you get pretty excited. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, it's funny. We were walking today, and we were in Veracruz, and there was a young girl that stopped at the lights, and there was a taxi behind her, and the light turned green, and he honked his horn, and I looked, and there she was, like this. Yeah, looking at her phone at the red light. The old guy behind her had to honk his horn so she could look up and go. Yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve too. Is when I drove water truck for the county. See so many bad drivers out there. So many bad drivers. Yeah, and if you're looking at your phone, you're totally impaired. It's worse than being drunk. Yeah, it's almost worse than being drunk. Shouldn't say it's worse, but almost. It's just as bad. Just as bad. It's it's common all over the world. You see it here too. People on their phones. They'll give you a ticket for it too, though, just like they do back home. Like Kiru Paul got a ticket for it. Have you guys watched Kiru Paul? Everybody watches Kiru Paul. I watched that video. That's an older one, but he got a ticket. His wife had called him and he was driving and he didn't have it hooked up to the Bluetooth and he answered the phone. Yeah, people get really complacent behind the wheel, right? You know, they do. You get complacent. Yeah. Yeah, that's like say when I worked out in Mornville driving a water truck for Sturgeon County, that was one of my biggest pet peeves was frickin' people on their phones when they're driving. And in the country, it's even worse because they do it even more on the country roads because they're out on the gravel road, right? So they figure, oh, I can't do anything, right? Like the guys that drink, head for the country road and start drinking, you know. Yeah. I used to bug my boss. He lived up around Legal area, and I said, yeah, that's where we see the most beer cans on the country roads is up in Legal area where all the Frenchmen are driving down, all the farmers driving down the country roads drinking their beer, throwing out their cans out the window. You could pave the roads with beer cans up there. Telling all of his cousins and aunts and uncles and out there driving around drinking on the country roads. But yeah, and being in the water truck, especially when I got my new water truck, the Western Star, it was quite a bit higher than the my international that I had. And yeah, you can look down and you see they're all on their freaking phone driving. They got their phone on their lap, driving with their phone on their lap, you know. Yeah, I seen people going through construction zones, looking at their phone, and when you're driving for a living, you see a lot of stupid shit out there on the roads. A lot of stupid shit. When you're on the roads all the time, 8, 9 hours a day, you see a lot of dummies. Lots of dummies. I think everybody should have to take a defensive driving course. I do. I believe that wholeheartedly. Everybody should have to take that defensive driving course. Here in the or not here, but in the Yucatan, you know what the driving test is? It's a parking test. You have to know how to parallel park. That's your test. It's quite stringent though, but that's your test. There's a written test, and then you have to parallel park. Yeah, she was in that meat shop for a while. Every time we go there, she's in there for a while because they gotta slice it. They slice it per order, except for the bacon. The bacon's already sliced. Let me straighten you guys out here a little bit. You're a little crooked, or maybe it's just me that's crooked. So this backdrop here is, let's see, that's a drone shot from today, this morning. That's at the Airbnb that we were at in Veracruz. Beautiful place, beautiful yard. The river was in the backyard. It was absolutely amazing. So it's right at the edge of town. You go down this back alley road, and then it turns into like a dirt road, like with grass growing up. It reminded me like I was going out to our cabin in northern Manitoba, you know, where the grass is growing up in the middle of the road with the 2 tire tracks, and that's it. And it's grass and coconuts. So there's coconuts everywhere, running over coconuts. So we go down. They're not very far, like 100 yards or whatever. And then we turn left down more dirt grass road. And yeah, the guy had a beautiful gate. Nice big wooden gate. It was just beautiful. I got it all on video. So that'll be in a couple weeks, that video. But nice property, really nice. Beautiful yard, massive yard. All grass, and all walled, and then a big huge gate. And then just a small home, 1 bedroom. And then a pool in the back. And then the river in the backyard pretty well. The backyard was the river, basically, and grass. Beautiful property, beautiful. Had a lime tree, had a orange tree, and some other type of fruit tree. I'm not sure what it was. At first I thought it was kiwi, but it wasn't kiwi. I don't know what it was. But yeah, what a beautiful property. And for 500 pesos a night, we got this place for, which is cheap. That's like $40 Canadian a night. So he's a subscriber. He reached out to me and wanted me to rent his property, and he's like, I can give you my place over in Veracruz for the same as what you're paying in Coatepec. And I'm like, well, that's going back to the Gulf of Mexico. I just spent 2 years on the Gulf of Mexico. We're going inland. I don't want to go backwards. So I had to decline his offer. But once I seen the property, I was like, man, maybe we should move here. It's pretty nice here. Yeah, I don't want to go backwards, so we neglected. But I told him, I said, man, if I know anybody who needs a 1-bedroom house for that price, like, wow. And it's nice, beautiful. But again, it's not, you could bike to the store, like it would be a 10-minute bike ride, but it'd be a bit far to be walking and carrying groceries, you know, whereas here, and then again, like I said, we want to go inland. We've already lived on the Gulf, you know. So, but we'll rent it, I told him, you know, when we go there and visit him, or visit Veracruz, we'll rent the property if it's available. You know, it was a heck of a deal. And a beautiful property. It was nice. Like, Cece had lots of room to roam around. You could let the dog out, and you could run all over. You know, it was awesome. It was awesome. I just loved it. There's chickens everywhere, and just like, yeah, so it's not in Veracruz. It's a little town, a half hour, about 20 minutes out of Veracruz. So just before you get there, kind of like the border of Veracruz pretty well. It was not very far of a drive. And that's to get right to the Malecon. Basically 15 minutes and you're in Veracruz, 25 minutes and you're at the Malecon, half hour or whatever, you know, but yeah, beautiful property, beautiful, and in a nice little town, really friendly, really an authentic Mexican town, really authentic, you know, just what we are used to when we first started coming here 12 years ago. You know, an authentic Mexican little town. You know, everybody knows everybody. You know, mom and pops, outdoor kitchen, you know, markets outdoors, and just really quaint, you know, chickens roaming the street, and you know, goats, the guys herding the goats down the road, you know. I just love that, right? Cows tied up, you know, onto a stake in the pasture, in a little field, not even a pasture, a little field on a corner lot type thing, right? A horse tied up to a fence, you know, like right there, and you know, just I would just love that. Just an authentic Mexican little town, right? Just exactly what we love. So yeah, it was really, really nice. Really, really nice. I don't know why this is all like this here. Stupid thing. Yeah, we had a great time there. So I want to go back. So that'd be like $30 US. Yeah, $30. Yeah, the chickens thought I was feeding them. These are more like free-range chickens, but in that little town where we were in Veracruz, there was chickens everywhere, and big ones too. Like the roosters were like this big. They were massive. I swear their drumsticks were probably like that big with the feathers. No, I haven't. I've never been to Guatemala. No. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm. Well, we did go to Guatemala briefly when we were in Chiapas, but we just crossed the border and we came right back. When we were with George and Jessica, when me and Jennifer went to the waterfalls, Jessica's mom hired us a driver that took us to the waterfalls, and then he took us to Guatemala for the day. So we just crossed, well, not for the day, after our trip to the waterfalls, we went and had lunch, and then we were so close to the Guatemala, to the border, he drove across the border just for about an hour. We stayed there, walked around. I got a bunch of pictures. We got videos of it. It's our... if you look on our Chiapas videos, I separated all of our videos now. They're all in their own playlist. So Chiapas videos has its own playlist, and it's the one where me and Jennifer went to the waterfalls. Really nice there. I think it was 100 lakes or something, he said. Like the land of 100 lakes, the area where we were, or 50 lakes. It really reminded me of Alberta. It really did. It looked like Alberta. Yeah, it was really nice. Really nice. But I really like Chiapas, so yeah, that borders Chiapas, right? Yeah, I'm sure that's what he said. It was 100 lakes or 50 lakes or something. A lot of lakes anyway. It was really nice. And it totally did remind me of Alberta. So. Yeah, so if you go look at our Chiapas video, the one where we went to the waterfalls, you'll see us going into Guatemala for the day. And the driver, he was a freaking speed demon, that guy. Speed demon. Oh yeah, look at this Bronco. Nice Bronco. Love this old truck. Giving that guy a boost. See a lot of nice old vehicles here in Mexico. A lot of people take good care of their vehicles here. I mean, you see a lot of derelict vehicles too, but you see a lot of nice vehicles. A lot of people they take good care of their vehicles. See people outside washing their vehicles all the time. Yeah, I was trying to find where we. Oh yeah, so Jennifer's just. This is the restaurant right by our house. They have pretty good food there, and pretty reasonable price too. Grandma's in there cooking kitchen every morning. It's family business, I'm sure. I'm sure that's her mom or her grandma, I would think. I could be wrong though. Could be just a worker. But the lady in the middle, she's the one that owns it. I'm pretty sure of that. The one with that's holding the soup, the younger girl there. She's the boss. She's the owner. There's a young guy too that's in there once in a while. I just met him last time I was there. Just a young guy, probably in his early 20s. Ugh, sorry guys, I'm always yawning lately every time I'm doing these lives here. You guys don't want to sit here and watch me yawn. So how was your New Year's there, guys? Let me know. What you guys do? Anything exciting? I told you what we did. What did you guys do? I didn't do anything. I worked on videos, and me and Jennifer walked around Veracruz in the daytime for about 8 hours. Oh yeah, she's sending her on a delivery run. Yeah, we were deadbeat tired when we got home. We didn't even we ate leftover takeout because we had some takeout from the night before that we ate. It's that Mexican food. I can't remember what we had. It was Mexican food though. So we had takeout. Got back, I think around, it was just getting dark when we got back because we don't want to drive at nighttime, especially in an area I don't know the roads. There's a lot of big potholes. So I think we got back around 5:30 from Veracruz. So yeah, that's the same. We're not. You know, when we first came here, we were hanging around the beach there, and we were hanging around with some partiers for a while, and we had a few parties and whatnot. But as a rule, Jennifer and I are not drinkers. Like we never were. Like I never was a drinker, even when I was younger. You know, we're not partiers. I like socializing. I do. I love socializing. I love being around people, and I like people. You know, I'm a people person. I like to shoot the shit and, socializing. But yeah, as a rule, we don't normally do much for New Year's. We'll go out a lot of times to a movie and we'll go out for supper. You know, that's what we do. Go out to have a nice dinner and we'll go to a movie. That's normally what we would do. But this year we didn't, obviously. I think that's what we did last. No, I think we might have had a party last year. Went to a party. We're at the beach with all the party people. But yeah, as a rule, if we were back in Canada, that's what we would do. We would go out and have dinner somewhere, like at the Keg, or generally likes Olive Garden. We go to Olive Garden or go to the Keg or something like that. Go have a nice dinner somewhere or a steakhouse. We like beef, right? So I came from Alberta. Go to a nice steakhouse and have dinner. River Cree, I like going to River Cree. We would go there sometimes. And then go to Terwilliger, to the VIP movie theater in Terwilliger. So we like that movie theater in Terwilliger, that new one, that VIP theater there. And here in Merida, we were going to the one at the Harbor Mall, so it's a really nice one here. Or not here, but there. I keep thinking we're in Merida. Yeah. We haven't gone to the movie theater here in Veracruz since we moved here, so. Wow. Hey, Crazy Radio, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for hopping on. Happy New Year to you too, my friend. I hope. Yeah, Windermere. Tried off the Anthony Henday. Pretty sure that's what it's called, Windermere. Yeah, it's probably a few years old now, though, but it was new back then. Yeah, Windermere. That's the place, man. Olive Garden. Yeah, I'm not a. Jen likes Olive Garden. I could care less. I could go eat at A&W. For all I care. I like the keg. Olive Garden, I could take it or leave it. She likes the chicken from there. I could, like I said, just go to A&W. I'd be happy. Or KFC. I like my KFC once in a while. Yeah, my buddy Caleb actually that lives here in Merida, that moved here a year before us. That's where he was living. He was living over by Windermere when they first built up that area a few years ago. Well, probably 5, 6 years ago now, but when it was newer. Yeah, it's where he used to live over there. Not too far. Well, I think he lived right in Windermere somewhere in that neighborhood. A little bit of drive for us where we moved to, but when we were living in the trailer court just outside of Edmonton there at Winterburn, it wasn't that far to go to Windermere. So once we moved over to 97th, at the north end of 97th in the Lake District, it was a little bit of a further drive, but not that bad though. I mean, we were 5 minutes from the Anthony Henday, right? So get on to Henday, half-hour drive. Yeah, so this guy here is selling raw chicken on the street corner. We're not afraid, man. We're not afraid. We bought his raw chicken on the street corner and we took it home and ate it. It was delicious. You could tell it had never been frozen. Fresh from the farm. Yeah, that's right outside where we live pretty well. Right across the street from the Pravada that we live in. So Pravada is a gated community if you don't know. Yeah, she got him to cut the skin off for us even. Jen doesn't like the skin. I like the skin, but I'm like, whatever, you can just take it off. I usually cook it crispy, but Jen just doesn't like the skin. I usually take hers off. But he was willing to take it off for us, so we just bought it all skinless. Oh yeah, the Anthony Henday is the best thing they ever did to Edmonton. You got that right. Now if they just get rid of all the photo radar off of it, they just got to drop all that photo radar. Get those guys off them overpasses. It's nothing but a money grab, and it doesn't slow people down. It's not doing anything. Just lining somebody's pocket. It's all it's doing. It's cash cow. I find the meat here, like when you buy from the butcher and that, is so much better. Like you can tell it's never been frozen. Yeah, you can tell it's never been frozen. It's fresh. Big difference when you buy meat that's never been frozen, man. Huge difference. You can tell. I'll pay a little bit extra money. Like the chicken and pork, chicken and pork here is really cheap. It's not expensive at all. Cheaper than back home. But I'll pay extra to get meat that's fresh like that. He's dealing with raw chicken and he had to answer his phone. I got a little bit of a chuckle out of that. Here he's handling raw chicken and then he answers his phone. He's got his Bluetooth in his ear. He touches that and touches his phone after handling the raw chicken. Oh. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. Yeah, yeah, and you know what? They got to crack down. What they got to do is crack down on these people that are going. Not the guy that's going 10 kilometers over the speed limit. And that's what it is. They're targeting these people that are barely going over the speed limit. Start making it stiffer penalties for guys that are, constantly getting tickets and going 30, 40 kilometer, dangerous drivers. The guy going 10 kilometers over the speed limit on the highway is not a hazard. It's ridiculous. The guy on the Hyundai that's going, 112, and they're sending him a $80 ticket because he was going 12 kilometers over the speed limit on a frickin' 4-lane highway with, nobody on it. That's why he's going 112 because he's got a lot of room and it's, he can go 112. When it's backed up during rush hour, then no, you're not going 112. You're going whatever the traffic's traveling at. It's so ridiculous. You don't even see photo radar here. I've never seen photo radar. It's here, apparently, but I've never seen it. The guy actually warned me in Veracruz. He said, oh, be careful going down this road. It's only 40 kilometers an hour, and there's police there, and they'll give you a ticket. I'm like, really? I've lived in the Yucatan for 2 years, and I've never seen them give anybody a speeding ticket anywhere. No photo radar anyway. There's nobody with a gun there, I've seen them pull people over, but I'm not sure if it was a speeding ticket. But you don't see photo radar anywhere. Like I said, I'm sure it's here, but I've never seen it. Not like you do back home, I'll tell you that. Well, I've never seen it at all in over the 2 years I've lived here. Not in the Yucatan. And even going to Quintana Roo on the highway, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Yes, a lot of times the speed limits are too low, and that's a hazard. That's a hazard. The guy going on the highway traveling really, really slow is more of a hazard than the guy going really fast. I don't agree with speeding. Like, speed kills, right? I don't agree with speeding. Speed does kill, but I'm, like I say, 10 kilometers over the speed limit, big deal. or even 15, depending on the circumstances, right? You know. But this little nitpicking for 10, 15 kilometers over the speed limit, well, then in a school zone, yeah, of course, when school's out. But it's so ridiculous. And like now in Edmonton, what they've done with the playground area is now they've reduced the speed limit in the playground in January on a Sunday. You have to slow down to 30 kilometers because it's now a playground. Like, give me a break. There's no kids out there playing in the playground in January when it's minus 30 out. Never mind that. There's no kids out there playing in the summertime when it's plus 20 out. They're all at home on their Xboxes. It's just a cash cow is all it is, and it's so ridiculous. And we allow them to do it. The people allow it. Everyone's living in fear. It's so crazy. Yeah, I know in the neighborhood where we were living in the Lake District, they went and changed all the school zones to playground zones, which meant that it was 30 kilometers 7 days a week now, which is utterly ridiculous. Playground zone. There's no frickin' kids out there playing in January or December or February. Like I said, there's hardly any kids out there in the middle of summertime playing. Never mind in the frickin' winter time. Like it's just asinine. It really is. It's just asinine. Just a cash cow. And then they set up radar right away. As soon as they did that, they started putting radar vans there. To enforce it. For what? There's nobody there. There's nobody in the middle of winter time. That just got my blood boiling, man. They did that. I had to go through 2 of those neighborhoods coming home from work, and it was always during work hour or school hours because I got off at 3:30 in the afternoon when I didn't work overtime. Usually I worked overtime, but the days I didn't, I had to go through that. And it didn't matter which way I go. They had 2 school zones on both sides. There was two ways to get to my house, and both ways I had to go through a school zone. I don't mind slowing down in a school zone when it's justified. I don't want to slow down in a playground zone on a Sunday or a Saturday in January when it's minus 30 out. For why? It makes no sense, but they allow it. And the people put up with it. So, yeah. That's the biggest problem. Yeah, it makes no sense. Like I say, I have no problem slowing down in a school zone when school is actually in. When there's actually children on the street, then yeah, slow the frick down. And get off your frickin' phone. Oh well. Yeah. Just crazy. What are you going to do? It's, like I said, it's the people that allow it though, right? Yeah. No, it's just lining somebody's pocket. That's all it's doing, right? It's just lining somebody's pocket. So, and not mine. I've got tickets, a few, but usually it's photo radar. So it's never affected my driver's license, but I'm not a speed demon, though. I'm not one for speeding. I'm the 10 kilometer an hour over type guy, the odd time. Coming home from Calgary, I'm doing whatever the traffic's doing. Coming home from Calgary. Going to Calgary, I'm like, set the cruise, 120, 10 over the speed limit. Coming home, a $140, $150, whatever they're doing in the fast lane, that's what I'm doing. Coming home, I don't know why. But yeah, I've never been a speed demon, never one for speed. Whatever. Yeah, well, of course, exactly. Common sense, right? Got open highway with nobody around. Like if you're in Saskatchewan, You know, one time years ago, I worked in the Northwest Territories, and I'll never forget this. I was on the Alaska Highway. I had a Ford F-150, just a single cab. It was like back in the early 90s, early 90s. It might even been 89. Anyway, I was going up to Inuvik. I was worked in Inuvik, and I was driving the Alaska Highway. I got stopped by this police officer, and gave me a ticket. I was probably going 120, whatever. You know, I had my truck was fully loaded. Well, I get back in the truck and, you know, oh, well, probably won't see another cop for a long time, right? Like, I'm on the Alaska Highway in the middle of nowhere. It's like being in Saskatchewan, right? You know, like, what are the chances of seeing another cop, you know, within the next hour or two? Well, not but 40 minutes, 30 minutes down the highway, another freaking cop pulls me over, gives me a ticket, and he comes back after writing my ticket. He goes, "Didn't I just hear your name on the radio about a half an hour ago?" Yeah. 2 tickets back to back. Well, probably with under an hour. Oh my God. Well, needless to say, I slowed down after that. That was back when I smoked weed too, so I think I had a bunch of black putty hash or something with me. I was probably stoned as well. So, that was back when I smoked dope. So, but yeah, it was funny anyway. I slowed down after that. I never got another speeding ticket. But I normally, as I got older, I kept a pretty clean driving record, especially the last 12, 13 years, or even longer, because I drove for a living a lot of times. So I had to have a clean driving record, you know. I have no impaireds, you know, no speeding tickets other than photo radar. Thank God that doesn't count on your license. I had a couple of photo radar, but that's it. But even those, I don't have. It's not like I was getting lots. You know, I had 1 or 2 over a period of a few years, but not very often. I would be that guy, like you were saying, if like when I would go to Calgary or whatever. When you're on the number 2 coming home, the guy in front of you is going to get nailed first, so you have time to slow down. They just get behind those people that are going 150 kilometers an hour, and if you stay behind them, well, you know, they're going to get nailed first. So, Highway 2, I hate that highway. It's like the Autobahn. It's just, I hate traveling between Calgary and Edmonton. Yeah, I hear the speed limits are set slow. They are. They're slow here. I mean, nobody follows the speed limit, but I mean, some do. Some are going really slow, but the speed limits are slow. Like, you'll be on a 4-lane highway and it's 100 kilometers an hour. There are some where it's 110, but a lot of them are 100 or even 90. You're on a 4-lane highway and it's 90 kilometers an hour, you know? And that, where Buddy was telling me about today, or the other day, in between where he lives in Veracruz, was 40 kilometers an hour. 40K. And topes all through there, and it was for no reason. Like, I don't understand why. Like, I don't understand why this speed limit was 40. You couldn't go faster than that anyway, because it was full of topes. There were topes every couple hundred yards. There was a big tope you had to go over. So you weren't going very fast anyway. I told him when he told me that, I'm like, well, no fear, I'm not a speed demon anyway. I mean, 40 is a little bit slow, but yeah. It must be really bad for the people that move here from the USA, because in the USA, they frickin' fly. I like driving in the US. The highways are beautiful in the USA, and they drive. Like, they know how to drive there. They're on a mission. They drive. When we did that road trip to the USA, the longer we were there, the faster I was going. When I got back to Canada, it was like, oh my God, it's like I'm at a standstill. It's just like, why are we all going so slow? I'm going to go back to the USA where they go fast. Yeah, 160. That's cruising. Yeah, that's right. You wouldn't. Yeah. I've never gone over there. 160. That's clipping along. I mean, I've gone that fast before, but I don't travel at 160. For a long period of time. Well, I shouldn't say that. Jen's Beamer, when she had her BMW coming back from Calgary, I think there was a few times were doing 160 or better for a ways, just keeping up with traffic. Yeah, that car that she had got up and went, that Beamer that she had. That was a nice car. I love that car. Rode really nice. And no problems with that car either. None whatsoever. Oh, do they in Korea? Yeah, I don't know. Oregon. I don't think we went through Oregon. No, we drove all the way from Alberta to Houston, Texas, and then we cut across to Pensacola, and then we went down through Georgia, and then headed back to Alberta from Georgia, from Notley Lake. We took a different way coming home, but we went to Houston, Texas first. So, and then from there we cut across to Pensacola, and then headed back north from Pensacola. I was really bummed out because part of the drive was along the coast, was supposed to be in the daytime so we could see the coastline there. And there was a bad accident. We were stuck on the highway for like 3 hours or whatever. And we ended up driving at nighttime and missing a lot of the sightseeing because we were driving at nighttime. Yeah. Yeah, I never been east of Manitoba, man. Never made it east of Manitoba. British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Alberta. Never made it east of Manitoba. Well, I imagine the French drive fast, yeah. I would imagine the French drive fast. I like driving in the USA though. I really did. I like the highways there. I like the roadside turnouts they have there. They actually have roadside turnouts where you go off the highway. You're not, like in Canada, we got all this frickin' land, and they got the roadside turnout is right beside the highway, so you get off the highway with your dog or your kids, and you got semi zipping by you at 100 kilometers an hour, 120 km, and you're right there on the side of the highway, the wind shaking you. Like, it's so ridiculous. And we got all this land mass, and yet in the USA, they got way off the highway. It's like a park. Like, it's beautiful. I don't know. Canada is so stupid. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of slow drivers. Here there is too, but there's a lot of fast drivers too. There's a lot of old people on the roads here. You can see a lot of old grandma and grandpas driving, and then there's a lot of derelict vehicles that probably can't even do the speed limit. I mean, there's lots that do just fly, but there's a lot of people here, right? So you have such a diversity of drivers, right? And then also there's no rules or regulations of the vehicles that's on the road. It's not like your vehicle's inspected before it goes on the road, right? Like, if it can go down the highway, it's going down the highway. It doesn't matter if it's burning blue smoke, or whatever. Yeah, there's no regulations for anything, right? So you see some pretty funky looking vehicles here going down the highway. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe this thing is actually driving. I've seen some pretty brutal vehicles here. It's like, oh my god. I mean, no, you see a lot of nice ones. I seen a Lamborghini in Veracruz just today. Really nice Lamborghini. I mean, there's a lot of nice vehicles rolling around Mexico, but there's a lot of shitty ones too rolling around. Yeah, you know what? I've really adopted a lot of patience since I've moved here with my driving because I'm that guy that, behind the wheel that's like yelling and, what is this guy doing? And oh my God. I was driving with my friend Carol in Meriden. She's like, oh my God, you're just like me, she says. Like, what is this guy doing? Why did he use his freaking signal light? Oh my God. Okay, buddy, which lane do you want? Do you want my lane or do you want both lanes or what? Like, a lot of times here, the roads, there's no lanes, like there's no lines, right? Like you don't know, like is it a 3 lane? Am I driving on a 4 lane? Am I driving on a 1 lane? Am I going the wrong way down a 1 way? The cars are just parked every direction, You turn down the street, is this a 1 way? Because there's a lot of 1 ways here, lots. A lot of the streets are 1 way. And sometimes they're not marked, and you can't go by the way the cars park because they park every direction. It don't matter. And if they can fit, they're going. It's quite an adventure to drive here, I'll tell you. It really is. Oh. Oh, I know, yeah. Like I say, when we did that road trip to the USA and I got back to Canada, I was like, oh my God, we're like turtles here. How do we get anything done? I heard people complain about that before, though, coming from the USA to Canada, like Americans coming to Canada, like, oh my God, you guys drive so freaking slow. Well, yeah, and the longer you're there in the US, the faster you'll drive. You'll just go faster and faster and faster. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, I think we lost Crazy Boy. I don't know where he went to. And Galen, I don't know if Galen's still out there. Lost Crazy Boy and we lost Galen. And we know Kevin Smith, we know he left. Well, I'm going to sign out here right away, my friend, anyway. We've let this go well over an hour here. We're going on an hour and a half. You're at the same time as us. It's 9:45. Just about my bedtime, my friend. Plus, I'm out of water. I got no more water. It's weird how that camera does that. I don't know why. There we go. Jen doesn't like the backdrop screen, but I like having it. There's nothing to see behind me. I don't have anything fancy to look at. I got a door and a wall. That's it. There's nothing. So it's kind of bland. Kind of bland. Oh, really? Yeah, well, I think your messages are all... I think sometimes YouTube blocks them. Let me go look because I closed my YouTube. But on my app here, it comes through. I've seen that before. It comes through on the app. And then on YouTube, it's not there. So you were talking about Europe. Oh, okay. I missed that one. I missed what you said about Europe. Okay, that's just right there. Ah, see the one where you're saying Canada has slow drivers. That's not... Oh, no, Western Canada. Oh, yeah, okay. No, it is here. Anyway, I've noticed that before, though. Sometimes YouTube has not put the messages through. I think it blocks some messages because it thinks that it's bad. Like YouTube's got a the algorithm for YouTube, it's got a mind of its own, and I've noticed that before. somebody will say something and it comes up on my screen here on the app because it's separate, but then it doesn't come up on the chat box for YouTube though. So the app itself is letting it go through because it's kind of blocking out YouTube, I guess, is what I'm thinking, right? So the app is picking it up. So the streaming app that I'm using is picking up the message and putting it through, and YouTube is blocking it. I've seen that happen before. So, but it looks, I don't see any messages. That doesn't mean they're not there though, but I was just looking back and seeing if there's messages that didn't come through that are on here, but I didn't see any. Yeah, I do the same thing. I mean, if I get behind somebody slow, you know, especially if I see that it's an old person, you know, try to adopt some patience for people, you know. If it's grandma or grandpa, because that's going to be us right away anyway, so I don't want people yelling at me. That's already me on the road sometimes. Especially here when I don't know the roads. Like, I'll be going, I have a lot of people fly by me here. Plus, I'm driving that Dodge Attitude, so I mean, it's only got the 3-cylinder, so I don't have a lot of get up and go, you know. So I'm already the grandpa on the road, so I hope these people adopt a little bit of patience. Worked for any? Yeah, we've all worked for idiots, I think, at one time. But yeah, I do that too. I mean, I'll just wait. If I tell it I can go around them, and I'll pass them, right? You know, when it's safe to do so, I'll go around them. Yeah, you don't, there's no road rage here. You don't see road rage. I've seen a little tiny bit. There was one time, just here actually, is the first time I seen it. But people here are really, really patient, and they really, I find the drivers here, especially in Veracruz, because a lot of the intersections, if they're not marked, it's 1 and 1. So one guy goes, the other guy goes. One guy goes, the other guy goes, and it'll say 1 and 1. And the people will stop in the middle of the road and just let you go across. Like if there's a lot of traffic, you know, they won't stop for a pedestrian, but they'll stop for other cars to go by. Not going to stop for any pedestrians, but they seem to be really patient with the other drivers here, I've noticed, especially here. Not so much in the Yucatan, but I've never seen road rage here. And I've heard other YouTubers talk about that too. People are just more laid back, you know, and it's, oh, well, whatever. You know, it's not like Alberta. You know, Alberta's that province, you know, and even when I go to Manitoba and into Saskatchewan, go visit my dad and that, or go to British Columbia, you know, it's just a slower pace. Everything is slower, you know, and Alberta is like, you know, go, 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 got to make the money, go, 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 you know. Alberta's a busy, you know, go, go province, right? So here, it's really, really in Mexico. It's what I've noticed, the areas that we've been anyway, you know, it's really just chill. It was laid back, you know. Sure, people speed, but as far as being patient with other drivers, yeah, there's a lot of people are patient, I find here. Way more patient from what I've experienced anyway than back home. And like I said, I've never really witnessed roadway rage here. One guy, he pulled out in front of a cab driver, and the guy was mad at the cab driver because he pulled out in front. He's like, well, and I'm like, there was backed up with traffic. The guy, he wasn't going anywhere anyway, so I don't understand why he was getting mad. He was going to go 10 feet and then stop anyway. You know, maybe he felt that it should have been his turn to go. It was the 1 and 1 thing, but he wasn't going very far. He was going to go 10 feet and stop because it was backed up with traffic, so I don't understand why he was mad. And that was the one and only time I ever really experienced it. And he was kind of yelled at him out the window, and the guy was just like, whatever. Just totally basically ignored him and just shrugged it off. Oh, whatever. You know, and drove away, and that was it, right? I just kind of laughed, like, really, because it was really, he had no reason to get mad. He wasn't going anywhere. I hate that when people are, they're in such a hurry to go nowhere, to race to the red light or race to the stop sign, and they're angry over it, and there you pull up beside them at the stop sign, 5 minutes later, and it's so ridiculous. You don't see that here. You don't. Not that I've witnessed anyway. People are very patient driving here. Very patient. It's a lot more laid back and chill. And you know what? It's got to be. It really does. It really does. Yeah, yeah. I've never drove in New York. I can't say there, but yeah. In my other video I got coming up wherever I cruise, I talk about that. The pedestrians here do not have the right of way, even at the crosswalk. I've stopped for old ladies and I get honked at. Go! It's an old lady standing outside in the corner at 35-degree heat. Like, let the old lady cross the freaking road. But if there's a tope at the crosswalk, then they do stop. Or if it's a designated crosswalk with lights, then they stop. But if there's no jaywalking here. You'll get run over. You're booking her across the road. You better make darn sure the road's clear, because you'll get run over. Yeah, you got to really be careful. Yeah. Yeah, back home they just walk out wherever, and that drives me crazy too. Go to the intersection, like you're supposed to. But they don't enforce that, right? It's like the signal light. They don't enforce people using their signal light, so people just do it, right? Anything that they don't enforce, I mean, people are going to go against it, right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think we lost George too. That was another guy we lost. We lost George. We lost everybody. Keith. Yeah, they think that they own the road. It can be crazy. I'm always cautious, even crossing the road back home. Even on a one-way street, I look both ways. You never know. You never know. You got to be cautious. Yeah. Anyway, my friend, I'm going to sign out, man. She's 10 a.m. almost, 5:02. Peace out, my friend. God bless you guys. Thanks for hopping on. Really appreciate it. Keith, God bless you and your family, my brother. Appreciate you being here, shooting the crap with me. It'd be boring without you. Anybody else that hopped on and said hi, appreciate you guys. And if you hopped on and never said anything, appreciate you guys too, man. Yeah, that don't surprise me. I've been called worse by better people, I'm sure, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to stop for you if you're not at a crosswalk, man. No way. You got to be at least standing at the corner, unless you're an old person. If you're old, I'm going to stop, right? I respect old people. I'll let them walk wherever they want. If the grandma or grandpa are out there with their groceries, I'm going to stop no matter where they are. So, God bless, guys. Peace out. Hasta luego. Be kind to one another, all that fun stuff. Thanks again, my friends. Catch you on the next one. That's exactly right. And then wave. As my friend said, kill them with kindness. Kill them with kindness, Keith. That's it. You got to do.